Hey gun nuts, how you guys doing today? I'm just coming to you today. I wanted to talk about a new pistol here that I wanted to do a little bit more of an in-depth review than I did before. I did a small video on it for like 1 minute and 3 seconds. I took it out to the range and shot it a little bit and talked a little bit about it, but I don't feel like I did the gun justice. It is a very high quality firearm. It's the CZ P07 DUTY size. It's a great looking gun, and it feels even better in the hand. It's CZ to me has a sort of like a 1911, like a 45, like the old GI 45s, the 1911 style grip angle, and it feels like a really good handshake. Like somebody ever shook somebody's hand and their hand is like massive and it kind of swallows your hand up, or somebody's hand who's small and you kind of swallow their hand up, or you shake somebody's hand, you're like, man, that's a really good handshake right there. That's kind of how this gun feels to me. I took the liberty of writing down a little bit because I noticed I've been re-recording some videos because I either missed some information or I just want to make sure I get you guys everything about the gun. Anything about it technically that you guys want to hear, like the weight and height and those specifications, I'll put them in as little blurbs in the editing process. But right now I just want to talk about the gun. I want to show it to you guys. So it comes in a plastic case. You do have an ability to put a lock through here. If you have children, that's a good safety feature. It's got these two golden clasps, and then the gun comes with, of course, a lock and key, a cleaning rod, a manual. Also has extended base plates for the magazine. It does come with 2 magazines. However, I only have one of them with me right now. It also has another cleaning rod. This is a friend of mine's gun, so it may be. This might not come with the gun. I'm not definitely sure, but one of these two might not be there. Just in case you go buy the gun and you come to me like I'm the manufacturer of it and I told you that they were there. You also have interchangeable back straps. Some of us have different sized hands, so they have thought about that at CZ to accommodate you for the back straps and the size of your hand. Trying to keep that little picture up back there for you guys so you can kind of check it out. But we'll go ahead and put this case out of the way here. Alright, so let's talk about the gun from head to toe pretty much. Like I said, I did a quick shoot on it. You can check that video out. I just don't feel like I've done this gun justice. When I fired this gun, I was a Glock fanboy, and when my friend got it, I was like, oh, you should have got a Glock. Man, why'd you get that? What's a CZ? And when I fired it, when I got it in hand, I was kind of shut up, because very good gun, very very good gun. So let's go ahead and talk about it. So on the top here, you have your sights. The rear sight posts, and I believe the front sight posts are both metal. They look like they're both removable. The rear sight looks like it's adjustable, so that's a good thing. Very quality sights, durable. They're not like Glock sights. Glock sights are polymer. They kind of give you that cheap feel for a plastic or a combat handgun. So that's very impressive to me on a gun. Another thing is that they have front cocking serrations. What we've been trying to get Glock to give us front cocking serrations for years. Now, here's my issue with this gun. They have made the slide ride on internal rails inside the frame. As you can see here, how the frame is kind of there and then the slide is there. You have that much slide compared to normally having that much slide to work with. They've made the rails for the gun on the inside of the frame instead of on the top of the frame, where the slide would ride on top of the frame. It's down on the inside of it. I know that does cut down on some of the recoil and add to some of the reliability of the gun, and I think it's kind of like their signature thing to do. It does, however, make using the front cocking serrations a little bit difficult. If you kind of work with it a little bit and practice, I can see you still being able to work the front slide cocking serrations. So not a big deal, I guess. I still don't like it. All right, so it's a polymer frame gun, like you know, your Glocks or your Smith & Wesson M&Ps. Very good grip texture. It's got kind of that skateboard tape kind of feel, or the original Gen 1 Glocks. It's got that kind of a tape feel, but it's more aggressive. You can feel it a lot more. I like it. It feels like, you know, something were happening, and you know, you were shooting in a wet hand, a sweaty hand, bloody hand, that the gun's gonna stay put, you know, and I like that. It also has this memory pad on both sides if you're a left-handed or a right-handed shooter, and it does look like the gun is set up to where you can remove this slide lock and put it on this side, so it can be an ambidextrous gun. You can, if you were lefty, you know, you could work the controls, and I'm believing you could move your magazine release over here. All right, so this gun is also made in the Czech Republic. CZ is a Czech Republic company. Very quality guns. They have a new gun that they just released earlier this year, and it's called the CZ P10C. Check that gun out. I went to the gun store one day, and I was still in my Glock fanboy state of mind, and the guy put one in my hand, and that gun stole me from Glock. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I know that make some of you guys out there who are Glock fanboys like I was, but I ask you to go either do some research on YouTube or go to a gun store and actually hold the gun in your hand, and then you'll see what I'm talking about. And there's a group of guys that have done a 10,000 round torture test. They stopped every 300 rounds to dunk the gun into a nearby stream, wash it off, and then they went back at it 300 more rounds, dunk the gun, 300 more rounds, dunk the gun. One stovepipe malfunction where the case didn't eject all the way out, and it got stuck right there with the slide action going. But the guy that it happened on, he said that he was kind of tired. It might have been him, not the gun. But I mean, that's impressive to run 10,000 rounds through a gun in one sitting, and you have one stovepipe malfunction. I'd bet on it. I'm gonna bet on it. So once I get it, I will definitely show you guys. You know me, I'm a show and tell kind of guy, so I definitely want to show you guys what that gun is about. But anyway, the P07 DUTY, it is a 9mm. I think we've put probably about 500 rounds through this, standard 115 grain ball ammo. I know my friend does use this as a carry gun. Alright, so it's got a hammer, which I'm used to striker fired guns, but it's got a hammer, and it's got a two-stage kind of hammer. I'm going to pull the trigger here, and it is unloaded, as you guys know. So when you pull the trigger back, it goes into kind of like a, alright, so that's the reset stage there. When you pull the trigger, the hammer goes into like a first stage. So you have a little bit of play in the trigger, and then it gets to that proverbial wall. Then from the rest of that, it'll strike the hammer all the way back. Now if you pull the hammer back as though you had, you know, cocked the gun, you've got a wall there pretty close, as you can see. And it's a pretty nice reset. I mean, it's right there, you know. And then, bang. There's a little bit of creep, but not bad. The ergonomics of the gun will keep it pretty steady. I noticed that when I was shooting it, that even though you got that little bit of creep, you don't lose your sight picture or, you know, throw your shot off. It's got an overextended or over-exaggerated trigger guard, which if you're since it's a duty gun, if you have gloves on or anything like that, it will accommodate that. It's got a nice metal trigger. It's a really quality feeling trigger. You know, Glocks have that polymer trigger, you know, and there's nothing wrong with Glocks. I mean, I love Glocks. I still plan to own Glocks. It's just that I probably won't be carrying them as much with the CZ line of pistols, that especially the P10C. All right. Also on the polymer frame, you have Picatinny rails. You've got 3 slots there, so you can have adjustable items if you have a smaller flashlight or a smaller laser, something you want to put on the gun. It will accommodate that for you. I don't know if you can see that grip angle. It's just a really natural grip for the hand, and it feels really good. It's also got this dovetail back here. That helps with recoil, since you've got that to press on the hand when the gun fires off. That keeps you kind of right on target instead of the gun jumping way up in the air. Then you have to bring it all the way back down to get it back on target. It's right there for you to be able to fire the next shot consecutively on target. All right, and you've got a magazine release. It does come with a steel 15-round magazine. It does come with 2 of them. You know me, here's the test. Good magazine kick out, upside down. Look at that. Good stuff. It's also got this keyhole here for a lanyard. So if you're a soldier and you know you've got your duty pistol strapped to your side, and this lanyard, if something happens, you have to drop the gun to go to your larger firearm, your AR-15 or M4, whatever you guys are using, then that will accommodate that. You won't lose your gun out there in the field. The gun shot really, really good. I mean, it felt good shooting. That's another thing that I was impressed with when I took the gun out. Really, really good shooting gun. And let's see, let's take that out. So here's the slide lock. Here's your ambidextrous decocking mechanism. So slide lock is really easy to actuate. It may be because this gun is kind of broken in. Like I said, we did fire this gun quite a bit. And if you've got a round in the chamber and you don't want to do the traditional method where most people will take the gun and hold the hammer and pull the trigger, you can use the decock mechanism and drop the hammer, and it goes into the stage 1 firing stage. And it's also a skeletonized trigger. You notice that that'll cut down on a little bit of weight on the gun. Very good gun. I think it's comparable to probably about the Glock 19 in size, even though this is considered a duty gun. It's probably comparable to the Glock 19. Usually Glock sits in my hand about like that. With the dovetail, if you have the dovetail backstrap on the Glock, they would probably be really, really close in size. Some other information I did find out about the gun is that it can come with a threaded barrel. So if you're able to use a suppressor or silencer and you're able to, you know, thread one on, and they don't really sound like that. That's Hollywood. So don't believe the hype on that. Also, like I said, the decocker can be. This decocker can be removed, and you can put a manual safety on there if you're more comfortable having a safety versus a decocker. Of course, the sights are adjustable in the rear. And then one thing I did also notice about the gun, the reset. So once you fire your shot, and then the trigger resets itself, and it comes back to a reset position, it's a really nice reset. It's really smooth. And it's not too far forward, it's not too far backward. It's kind of right there in the right spot for it to be. So that's pretty cool too. There's a bigger brother to this gun. It's called the CZ P75. That's a very, very, very popular gun. The guy that I go to at Battlefield Arms, Battlefield Firearms, he was telling me that the gun is pretty hard to get in. Once he gets them in, probably can't keep them in no more than a day, and they're sold out. He's got people on a waiting list for them. Cup of Joe. Got to have it. The newer P07 pistols that they've been producing, 15-round mags, they have this, instead of having this little hole here, they have a slice cut here. That makes this magazine interchangeable with the new P10C. That gun is fully ambidextrous on both sides, so they've cut that to make this be able to fit into that gun and still function and everything. Also, the bigger brother to this, the P75, the magazines are interchangeable with this gun. They're a little slimmer because this mag well is a little bit wider than the P75, but the magazines will work. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this gun back out to the range. I'm going to do a less talking and more shooting segment. But this right here is my CZ P07 DUTY review of what's it all about. You guys can check this gun out more if there was something I missed about it, or if you have some ideas about it that I didn't touch on this, please leave me some comments. Look me up on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter under Homeboy Tactical and Sporting. Please leave me some comments. Like my videos, share my videos, subscribe. And as always, God bless you and happy shooting.